Polygons are multi-sided shapes, and they're a little bit redundant in that we could just use a regular line in some relationships or some constraints and some dimensions and create our own polygons, but the software will really save us a lot of time just using the polygon tool. So let's go ahead and I'm going to choose something like the XY plane. I'm going to start a sketch there. And notice over here I've got this tool called the regular polygon. Click on that. Now a polygon can have as many sides as you want, but it has to start with a minimum of 3, right? You can't have a 2-sided polygon, but you can have a triangle, which is a 3-sided polygon. So let's type in 3 there. And it's asking us how we want to create that polygon. So what's called is an inscribed or a circumscribed circle, right? So you want this control circle to be on the inside or the outside, pretty basic. I'm going to make it on the outside, right? And then over here, I'm just going to click, and notice wherever I click is kind of the start of my polygon. In this case, I'm making a triangle, right? And I'm going to add put it at a little bit of an angle just to start. Click here, and there it is, okay? I'm going to apply it. There is my polygon. He's looking pretty good. Now, if I wanted to, of course, I can go over here and create some new polygons, right? I can add 5-side pentagon, or if I wanted a hexagon, I can create a hexagon, right? Any of these things, and I can apply them if I like them. And notice what happens, though, is I get this circle on the outside, which is the control circle, but I'm also getting all these lines, and the software is defining a lot of information, saying, hey, all these lines, they're equal, the same length, right? And saying, hey, this line here is perpendicular, and that's how it's creating this shape. And so by making them all the same length, it makes them all a logical, hexagon in that case. And of course, you can go back and you can add more relationships. So for instance, over here, I could say, hey, this line here, I want to add a constraint. I want to say that's going to be horizontal, right? And notice we have this little relationship that's been added, or this constraint here that says this is perpendicular to that. Well, that's really not appropriate. So let's get rid of that. That just kind of got added by accident, and that can happen sometimes, right? But, oh, how about over here? I could say, how about this line up here? Grab a constraint and say horizontal. So now I define that. How about a dimension? I can dimension the circle if I wanted to, right? I could say like, hey, let's make this 2 inches, and that defines the entire polygon. But if you didn't want to, you just hit delete, right? I could also dimension from one side to the other side. Right? That'd be completely fine. Make that 2 inches, right? I can do that all I want. Same thing with the triangle down here. I can move it around, I can grab it, I can pull it around. I've already defined something like this as far as this being horizontal. And if you want to, you can dissect your polygon, right? If I say, hey, I don't want that circle, let's just get rid of it, right? Now all of a sudden this is okay. And then you say, well, I don't really want this line here either. We can do that, right? I mean, we can start with a polygon and then modify it and then, keep going. I could get my line tool out and I could get crazy. I could come over here and, make a line here and connect it there and just use that as a starting shape and connect it together with some other things or some other lines or other circles or whatever it is to get as complicated of a sketch as you want. And just want to remind you that really all this is just the line tool with a bunch of references and constraints that have been added to it to make it so it's a shape that we can work with. Anyways, that's the basics for working and controlling polygons.